नमस्कार. गोंयांत सदांच रिजनल प्लॅन आनी ODP ह्यो सदांच गाजतात. फाटली आमी 25 वर्सां पळयतात, वेगवेगळे विशय गाजतात. हालींच हायकोर्टान कलंगूट आनी कांय विलेजीसचो जे पळय कितें ODP आहा तो रद्द करून उडयला. ताचे पयलीं 17(2) हाजेर हायकोर्टान बडी मारिल्ली. ह्याच विशयाचेर आज आमी सडेतोड नायक घेतात. दोन मानेस्त आमचे कडेन आसात. हांव तुमची वळख करून दिता. आमचे मदीं आसा डॉक्टर ऑस्कर रिबेलो आनी आमचे मदीं आसा सबीना मार्टिन्स, दोगी जाण एक्टिविस्ट. ऑस्कर बाब, याद करून दिता, तुमच्या गोवा बचाव अभियानाक फुडल्या वर्सा 20 वर्सां जातात आनी परत तेच ODP, तोच रिजनल प्लॅन, तेच पॉलिटिशियन, तेच घुसपागोंदळ, तेच गोंय विकून उडयतात. हें कितें कितें चलना? तुमी इतलें व्हडलें एज्युटेशन करून येदो व्हडलो राजकीय बदल घडयल्लो तरी लोक सुदारना कित्याक?
सो राजू, कितें आसता न्ही, आमी एक्टिविस्ट जे आसात पळय ते एंड जर्नलिस्ट, वी लव टू लिव इन द पास्ट. The poor people of Goa, who are of course some good, some bad, they live in the present. The trick is that the politicians know how to live in the future, and that is what is our undoing. ताका लागून आमी ह्या त्रासान पडटात की आमकां कांयच हक्क ना. हक्क की न्ही, सत्तो कांयच ना. सादारण मनशाक जावं opinion makers like journalists or columnists or activists, we are only trapped in our baggage of history, in our baggage of romance, in our baggage of nostalgia. We have got absolutely no power to change the direction of the future. That direction we have outsourced, or that task we have outsourced completely to the politician. And the politician is the garbage that we keep electing again and again. And then we wonder why things don't change, why things don't happen. And you have one man like a Claude Alvarez and his foundation, or maybe the GBA, or maybe a couple of activists who actually struggle. But जे आमी फक्त activist, हांव आतां बरोवपी आनी बोवाड मारपी activist आसात. सो आमचें काम खरें म्हणल्यार सोंपें, समजलें न्ही. आतां खूब एक्टिविस्ट आसात जे बायट्स काडटात, सोशल मिडियाचेर वतात आनी एवरी डे तांचे हे विडियो काडीत आसतात. द जेन्युइन एक्टिविस्ट जे आसात पळय ते खरें म्हणटा हांव, भितरल्यान म्हणटा हांव, जेन्युइन एक्टिविस्ट आर पीपल लायक सबीना, पेट्रिशा, क्लॉड, स्वप्नेश, अभिजीत प्रभुदेसाय. So these are the genuine activists who work in day in and day out. That is a very tiring job. That is a very boring job. Just filing petitions.
But every day on road fighting.
No. Every day on road is very easy because that is visibility. You get a lot of ego pump up with that. So when people tell me I've written a nice column, I just feel wonderful. But I'm doing nothing. I'm changing nothing. These are the guys who are really changing. So today you've got to thank Goa Foundation. You've got to thank GBA for having done this level of homework,
Sabina,
for having done this absolute work on the ground to be able to get a verdict like this.
But see, still, Kalangut, Kandole, Parra, Nagawa, ODP, येत आसात, गव्हर्नमेंट बसत आसात, कोर्ट मारत आहा बडी.
ते एक्टिविस्ट आहा म्हणून अकाउंटेबिलिटी आमी सरकारा कडेन मागता आनी जेन्ना सरकार काम करिना सारकें गलत करता तेन्ना कोर्टाचो आमी सो ताका लागून जे कितें आतां कितें बांदपाक जाय, लँड कन्वर्जन करपाक जाय ते कायद्यानूच करपाक जाय न्हू. सो जेन्ना कायदो आमी सरकार बदलता अगेन्स्ट नॉर्म्स जे आसा ते, सो मागीर ते कोर्टानूच वयचें पडटा.
ना पूण सबीना म्हाका सांग, आतां दोतोर ऑस्कर आहा ताणें गोवा बचाव अभियान केलें, 2021 केन्ना सोंपलो, आतां नवो 2031 येवपा जाय आशिल्लो, तो आयलोच ना. ताका लागून आतां CM म्हणटा 2041 येवपा जाय. सो हें आतां
ते नंबर दीत रावतले. इश्यू हा की आमी हो प्रेझेंट कसो सांबाळचो तो. कित्याक 2011 आतां ODP येयलो पँजिमेचो, मागीर 2021 येयलो पणजेचो ODP. ओके, आतां ODP 31 येयलो पणजेचो. पूण जे कितें गलत आसले 2021 ते सगळे परत आतां ODP 31 येयल्याचो आमी
गलत आसा म्हणटात. 2021 म्हणून ताणें 17(2) हाडिल्लो न्ही, जें कितें तातूंत भितर रॉंग आहा तें सुदारपा खातीर.
ते चेंजीस तो 16B हाडले पयलीं एका कायद्यान बदल जालो TC मागीर 17(2) हाडले ते सरकार ते कोर्टांतल्यान भायर उडयले आतां म्हणजे इट रेड डावन द रुल्स मागीर ते सरकार आतां सुप्रीम कोर्टान गेला आतां 39A सेक्शन हाडले आनी सगळ्यान आतां 39A सोडून दी आतां सगळ्यान जे वायट घडटा ते तेणी रुल्सान बदल हाडला आतां जे बिल्डिंग रुल्स आहा ते सो अंडर दॅट 16.1.1(2) पर जो रूल आसा तितून कितलेय FIR दिवं शकता सो ह्या आमी झोन आनी एक S1 झोनाक 100 FIR आसपाक जाय अशें आसा कायद्यान दे जस्ट अबॅन्डन दॅट
ऑस्कर हो पळय इशू आहा की अशे तरेचे जे पळय प्लॅनिंग आसा तें पयलीं विलेज लेवल तालुका लेवल डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल हातूंतल्यान मुखार वचपाक जाय तुमी तें घालून दिल्लें एक मुळावण आनी तेन्नाचे गव्हर्मेंटान ते फॉलो करता म्हणिल्लें पूण एक कितें जालें गोंयाक प्लॅनिंगाचो कोणाक ना
फेस इट नो राजू वेन देर इज नो इंटेंशन तूं कितले रुल्स हाड कितले सेक्शन्स हाड कितले बदल कर तूं essentially what you don't have is not about you don't have a plan for the last and sometimes it's extremely disappointing when we had Manohar Parrikar as the chief minister we thought that at least okay perhaps for all his faults maybe this was a man who would be able to understand this concept but even he failed us. The problem is not a plan, the problem is there is no vision for Goa. That is your problem. Plan is just about land use. So at the present moment Goa is simply a product to be sold in the market. So how it is to be dressed up, who gives the best price, एका दुसरे डिबेटीन एक प्रोफेसर ऑफ युनिवर्सिटीन बरें म्हणिल्लें की गोवा टुडे हॅज अ प्रायस इट हॅज गॉट नो व्हॅल्यू आनी खरें म्हणल्यार दॅट इज वॉट इज ॲक्च्युली किलिंग पीपल लायक अस नो हू हॅव सीन beautiful times in Goa, wonderful times in Goa. Maybe my kids, for instance, they think that we are living in some fairyland. They are very happy partying in Kalangut and in wherever at different clubs and all that kind of thing. Their generation is different. But the point is, very clearly, we do not have a vision for Goa. I mean, fine. Even if, for instance, I would want the greenery maintained. I would want open spaces maintained. I would want urban forests. I would want. आता तू फक्त तालिगांव घे प्लॅनिंग सोड तूं विजन सोड तूं सेक्शन सोड तूं फक्त तालिगांव कारांजले घे तूं आमी रावतात खंय ते एवरी डे पी पास बाय आतां इतल्या बिल्डिंगाचो परमिशन दिल्या थंय कितें कितें बिल्डिंग आयल्या पळय त्यो सामको it's become like a urban chawl, right? The Kalangut, the Karanjale belt. It's fine. You build. I don't know. If you think that you have a population that requires housing for God knows 10 stories, but you first create the infrastructure for those houses, right? Yes. What is that road in Karanjale for all those structures and for all those flats that there are thousands and thousands upon flats, and this is replicated in every metropolitan area. And now under Vishwajit Rane's TCP department, this is being replicated in the villages. So today you have got little dirt roads, and you've got these fancy villas with swimming pools that are surrounding that little dirt road. So what is your infrastructure for these real estate projects that you're giving to? So even this basic thing, forget if you don't agree with the GBA concept or the Goa Foundation concept of keeping Goa green and keeping Goa beautiful and all the rest of it. Okay, fine, you don't agree with that, but at least you plan for your damn metropolis that you're building. You're converting Goa into a metropolis, no? You're converting Goa into Pune, you're wanting to convert Goa into a Bangalore. That is your mission, right? So at least plan it that way. Even that common sense, it's not common sense, it's just as I told you, it's a complete mafia, worse than even Putin's mafia. These guys are pale into insignificance. A mafia that is simply selling Goa, and besides us screaming and doing these debates and writing useless columns and everything else, nothing can be done. The only thing is the courts and these activists. I'm very serious. It's only the courts and the activists.
माफिया म्हळ्यार आमी आसगांव पळयलें एक कोण येदे व्हडले बुलडोजर येता एक घर मोडून उडयता आनी ते कोणाचेरय केसी कित्याक ताका कांय अर्थच ना जालो
ना अर्थ ना आनी आमी फक्त बसल्या तूं सुद्दां राजू तुजेरूय तो आरोप घालपा जाय म्हाका हांगा हें सांगपाक सोदता बिफोर आय फॉरगेट इट एंड बिफोर वी गेट डायवर्टेड आमी फक्त आतां ही 20 वर्सां जालीं 20-25 वर्सां जालीं आनी हें लक्षांत घेवपा जाय सगळ्या लोकांनी आमी फक्त 20-25 वर्सां जालीं हांगा फक्त तो सेक्युलर कम्युनल डिबेट घेऊन बसल्यात. फक्त क्रिस्तांव मुस्लिम हिंदू क्रिस्तांव ही जात ती जात, फक्त ते एब्सोल्युटली युजलेस रबीश. जावं काँग्रेस सरकाराचो फ्रॉम दिगंबर कामत टू बीजेपी सरकार नाव, देर इज नो कम्युनल सेक्युलर देर. What is the problem with the Christian group in this particular BJP government? Every single Catholic minister is the one who is out destroying Goa. You take Marvin Goodino, you take Michael Lobo, I'll give you full names. These are the people in the forefront of destroying Goa. So what are we talking about communalism, secularism? There's enough power in the Catholic minority. The problem is only about this land use. There is not a single person who stands up for Goa's interests as far as land use, protecting its heritage, protecting its environment, and protecting its future identity. So whether it is Congress or BJP, stop arguing about communalism and secularism. Talk only about Goa.
तुका हांव क्वेश्चन विचारता. तूं आतां आफ्टर हिम you became the chief of GBA.
No,
आणि दुसरे ताणी जे कितें विजन
ताणी
जे कितें विजन ताणी जे कितें
राजू, it is a collective.
I am asking her a question. I am asking her a question.
It is a collective. GBA is a collective. Sabina is just poor thing. She had to take on the mantle because it was
no, it's a
collective
to answer. म्हाका सबीना सांगा, ताणे जे पळय विजन म्हणला, जमनी गोवा हेज ए प्रायज, गोंय विकून उडयतात, गोंयाक काय उरूना, गोंयान 5 वर्सांनी गोंय म्हणटा आसपाना. अशे वेळार हो रिजनल प्लॅन 2021 सोंपलो, 31 येवपाक जाय आशिल्लो, 41 हो रिजनल येतलो केन्ना? लोकांक ताजे बद्दल जागृताय जातली केन्ना? लोकांक सांगपाक जाय रिजनल प्लॅन म्हळ्यार कितें.
The next election fight only on that issue.
Right now,
only on this issue. So stop coming up and saying no, you know, this little church of ours was affected. No, that little temple there was no road, and no, आमच्या जातीक दिवंक ना ते, आणि no आमची कोण organization.
Lots of people are coming on the streets, and today if Goa is being protected is because at the village level, wherever there has been projects coming, look at Sankwa, look at this side, North Goa side, Penne, Nargar, everybody is coming.
Why does
look
not
at Pillen. Now the point is that people are rising, people are fighting, but we need to converge, make it into a larger force to be able to determine decisions.
No, this is where you don't articulate that word, and therefore that is the problem with activism.
What is that?
You cannot convert that huge people's anger that is there on the ground into a political force.
Yes.
That is the problem. Yes. That is the fundamental problem. Today a Zoran Mamdani can become the mayor of New York, but as a Democrat, it's a political process. We do not. Our activism has failed on creating a political alternative. Unless we accept this,
but
we are not going forward. Then we are going to just play with
Then I am asking you a question.
Yes.
Doctor, tumse agitation was highly successful.
Yes.
Why GB has not contested?
Absolutely, it's a huge failure. Huge failure.
Why they have not contested?
If you want to say whether that was my failure, fine. I accept it was a huge failure.
Because that time the public sentiment was...
Absolutely, completely. I agree with you fully. But at that, whatever, I'm not going to go into those reasons now.
Yeah.
But the point is that at no point of time have we managed to convert that people's anger into a political movement.
Yes.
Unless that happens, the freedom of India does not happen. If the emergency would not have been toppled, the Shah of Iran wouldn't have been toppled if these things do not become political. And only when you have political power can you transform your ideas, that people's anger, into actual ideas on the ground. Otherwise, you're going to be fighting for the rest of your life.
There has been a government change. People have been electing, because if you look in the last 20 years, we've had elections, and people put their trust in people in who will deliver.
What trust, Sabina? For instance, I'll give you an example.
But
the last time round, I'll tell not whether it's failed. It's deliberately failed. I'll give you the example. Today we are discussing these ODPs of Parra and Anjuna and whatever. Yeah. The main man there, the absolute point man there is Michael Lobo. The last time round, the Congress took Michael Lobo and said, no, he's a secular candidate, and so therefore we've got to vote for him. And he, along with God knows 8 or 10 of them, jumped into the BJP. And today the BJP says, no, he's of course secular. But Michael Lobo, whether he's communal or secular, that is not the question. The question is, he wants to see that the ODPs of Parra and Anjuna come.
So that is the issue.
The people,
that is the issue.
No, and the intelligentsia, which keeps on harping this whole bloody rubbish that the BJP, in the rest of the country, I'm not bothered. The rest of the country, of course, the BJP runs its communal agenda. In Goa, There is nothing like the Hindus are with the BJP and the Catholics are with the Congress. It's nothing like that. The Congress is secular and the BJP is communal. Both are equally in business of finishing Goa. Period. That's the end of the story. And get the generals for that. And pull out generals, pull out the BJP today. You show me, other than Pramod Sawant and maybe Subhash Phaldesai and Ganesh Gaonkar, who have got virtually no power, they're kicking them probably out God knows where, into the boondocks. You show me one BJP hardcore RSS person who might have had some convictions for the environment who is there in cabinet today. Everything is Congress. Everybody is Congress there. And still, what is our debate? No, you know, in Goa, BJP is communal.
No, what I'm saying,
first thing is this. Or else you go for revolutionary Goans party.
Why regional plan issue can't become a political issue?
See, the regional plan issue, all the politicians will go piggyback on movements, but once they get elected, they go back.
Vijay Sardesai is the classic example. Vijay Sardesai, articulate, very clever, very articulate, very knowledgeable. Today, as leader of opposition, he speaks the perfect language as far as Goa is concerned. Goan identity, ye, te, mati, gobor. But when he became TCP minister, he introduced whatever was that section to be able to
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Push his thing. So the point is, everybody has to be judged when what they do when they are in power, not what they do when they are in opposition. And that is what my problem is here is.
But then, Oscar,
so whoever gets elected, they are doing that.
Of course, I'm frustrated, and that's all I can do. All I can say is I'm a frustrated, impotent man who can achieve nothing for Goa.
So I'm optimistic. I feel whatever changes that have come is because people have not given up hope. They are still fighting. Whatever pressure that is there.
Why doesn't it turn political, Sabina? Why doesn't it turn political? Why aren't we a dog about it? Why do
I'm being polite, allowing you to space. Okay. So what I'm saying is that these are the voices, they are strong, and whatever we have managed to save is because of the people who are out there. Not because of people who are elected.
Kalangut, Kandola, Parra, Harfade, Nagoa, हांच्या ग्रामसभाने किती डिस्कशन झाले?
आता किती की
these are the issues. Regional plan ODP ग्रामसभेन उलोवपा जाय आशिल्ले ते
उलयले म्हणून आता हे जो कितें म्हणटा ते कोटान घातलेले they are people from those villages and that's why today we have got. So that's what I'm saying. So people are coming forward. We shouldn't be dejected, but it's just that we need better strategies to deal with the present roads. No, court is one thing, but all these people who are in power, see, finally, if when floods come, are there floods going to say that, you know, this one is a politician and that one is this? Now, Bhutani, they have given slopes. Now, we've seen
what
Uttarakhand.
I'm praying for is a flood to hit Goa. Big, huge flood, a huge tsunami to hit Goa. I mean, that has to happen. Unless something like that happens, we will never wake up.
No, but that is what I'm saying. So now, slope cutting, hill cutting, they have given Bhutani permission, despite the protests in Sangkwal. So, that side, sand dunes are being cut. There is a great fear of sea water coming inland. Then everywhere you see the temperatures now in the unseasonal rain. You see our fields, you know, this time it's like this unseasonal rain has destroyed the normal crop farming.
फक्त दोन मुद्दे मांडूंक सोदता हांगा. एक तुजो तो मुद्दो तुवें मांडिल्लो पळय तो की ग्राम सभेन हारपरा पर्रा बी सगळे लोक येतात. Do they protest or not? I'm not saying that they don't protest. I'm not saying that they are not traumatized by the fact that their villages are being devastated. ते खरें. पूण हें खरें की 90% 90% लोक फाल्यां जर समज मायकल लोबोचो आनी डिलायला लोबोचो बर्थडे पार्टी जालो जाल्यार 90% of these लोक will go and wish Delilah Lobo and Michael Lobo.
Correct.
So there is the hypocrisy, the first hypocrisy that takes place. आणि दुसऱ्या म्हणल्यार म्हाका एक ही विनंती, this is a kind of a real request that I would want, because at the present moment, like America, the only thing that we can depend on now are the courts. आणि कांयच उरूंक ना, political processच उरूंक ना. So we are extremely grateful for the courts to take this kind of absolutely wonderful action, the High Court. We hope that this follows up in the Supreme Court. But I just wish a large number of people in the judiciary, in the higher echelons of judiciary, would be able to at least suo moto take cognizance of some simple violations like gashing of an entire hill somewhere, which I don't think that you require some kind of great lawyers to come and argue this way or that way. For instance, if a whole hill is being cut off and everything is precariously dumped over there, which is is going to collapse in no time, I just wish even one photograph should make a court be able to put a stop to a order on that, even without necessarily any activist coming to court. And I just wish, Goa is a small place, we've got a high court which can easily manage these things. I just wish at least this much we can, where gross violations at least can be brought to the fore and can be corrected in some way or the other.
Sabina, लोक रस्त्यार येताले, तुम्ही लोकांना रस्त्यार हाडिल्ले, हाले एजिटेशन दिसती पडनात, हाले फक्त कोर्टान वतात लोक. हे कितें?
See, because when it comes to laws, okay, when it comes to laws, the only route is the court to give orders against the law. Correct. Now, if there is sufficient public pressure, yes, in the assembly changes can be made. Now, we had put pressure on the government regarding the Panchayati Raj Act. Yes. The Panchayati Raj Act, 73rd Amendment, power to make special plans, म्हणजे की land use plan at the panchayat level असले by the 73rd amendment. पण आमचे पंचायती राज ऍक्टान नसले. ओके, तो वर्ड स्पेशल SPATIAL तेणी स्पेशल घातलेले SPECIAL म्हणजे स्पेशल आणि डिफायन करू ना. आम्ही ते मुद्दो मांडलो, मागीर असेंब्लीन लास्ट असेंब्ली सेशन तेणी तो अमेंडमेंट हाडलो पंचायती राज ऍक्टाक. पूण तेणी तसोच दवरला. आता गव्हर्नरा कडेन वचपाक जाय आसले ते टू बिकम एन ऍक्ट यू नीड गव्हर्नर्स असेंट. सो अजून पासून तो ऍक्ट जावना.
गव्हर्नर आपल्याकडे घेऊन बसला.
आम्ही फॉलोअप करता पण आमकां कांय मेसेज येना की ते ऍक्ट जाला काय ना तो. सो जेन्ना पब्लीक प्रेशर जाता तेन्ना खंय तरी चेंज करता, पूण तांकां नाका पावर टू द पीपल, म्हणजे स्पेशली लँड यूज प्लॅनिंग तांकां नाका, सो अशें डिले करता. सो दॅट इज वेअर द प्रॉब्लेम.
पयसो जनरेट जाता इन लँड डिलिंग्स, लँड कन्वर्जन, बायींग, सेलिंग, ग्रॅबिंग लँड. हो पयसो पॉलिटिक्सान घालता. आतां दीस इज नॉट ए एवरीबडी नोज अबाउट इट. सो हो पयसो जनरेट जायत रावतलो, लोकांक ते विकते घेतले, वोटरांक दाखयतले. आज एक कॉन्स्टिट्युएन्सी झगडप म्हळ्यार 10 कोटी रुपया, आतां 25 कोटी जावंक शकता. हें जे पळय कितें रॅकेट आसा हें आमी कशें मोडटले? कारण तूं म्हणटा पॉलिटिक्स इज द ओनली आन्सर टू दिस टायप ऑफ ऑल मॅस.
It has been shown. It has been repeatedly shown how you can beat that. But you must be politically convinced that you can do that, and the people must be convinced that politically this is possible. In the first term, after India Against Corruption, with next to nothing, Arvind Kejriwal managed to contest an election and win Delhi. That was next to nothing, with no money. Now that the Aam Aadmi Party has lost its way is another story. Similarly, today you have a classic example of what is happening in New York City. You have billions of dollars being spent by all the other runners over there. And this guy, Zoran Mamdani, with crowdfunding, with small amount of money, has created such an impact. The thing is, today, the biggest weapon, if you are genuinely interested in fighting a political cause, you've got social media on your side. By and large, the legacy media like yours will support this. It is not that it is impossible to win against Michael Lobo, Marvin Goodino, Vishwajit Rani, Babush Monsarath. It's not that it's impossible, but you must absolutely break this nonsense of communal and secular. We are tired of that.
Okay, म्हाका सांग,
that politics must go buried.
आता आमचे डिस्कशन हळूहळू पॉलिटिक्स सगळे आहे ना, राईट थिंग. आय एम नॉट म्हाका सांग, पळय राधारावान एक आयडिया घाल्या, कार्यकर्त्यांक घेवन आपण एक मिटींग घेतलो, एक पॉलिटिकल फॉरम तयार करूया. तुझे सारखे मनशाक हातून भितर सिरियसनेस आसा. तुझे सारखे मनीस रस्त्यार आयला, प्रॅक्टीस सोडून रस्त्यार आयला. तुझे सारखे
म्हाका I have done in my own way. I don't want to be in electoral politics. That's a choice I make. But I have canvassed for Aam Aadmi Party in 2017. I got a kick in my pants. We all got a kick in the pants there, and they told us to go to hell. You're not worth it. So I know that the people of Goa trust me that way. So that is fine. But Radha's idea is a very good idea. But again, Radha's idea, as far as I'm concerned, is going to be falling into the same trap of we require to keep the Catholics united in Salsette, because if the Catholics are not united in Salsette, then the big monster of BJP will come, which is a communal party, and that poor Manoj Parab, who's trying to form a political party and who's fighting on land issues and who's making sweat into blood into that. No, he's the B team of the BJP. Are you are electing Catholic candidate after Catholic candidate on Congress ticket in full-blown Congress constituencies in Salsette, who are hop, skip and jump. They are waltzing into the BJP with this Alesh Regina.
I think we should.
This is the reality.
So therefore, you have to.
तो पण म्हणता कॅथलिक वोट जाय पडटात कारण कॅथलिक बरे थिंक करून येतात.
I don't know why we are discussing communal politics now. We are discussing land use. So I think we need to focus on land use.
It is very important.
So if you focus on the issue.
No, let me one moment. Let me tell you, as a doctor, let me make that diagnosis for you. Why from land issue I'm talking communal politics? Because the actual disease or the cancer that is eroding Goa's body, soul and spirit is land use. That is the cancer.
Yes.
Correct? But what we are all treating is some bloody rubbish pimple on the face, which is communal politics. This is the point I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
So stop focusing on the pimple and let's focus on the cancer.
Sabina, तुझं म्हाका लास्ट स्टेटमेंट जाय. आमी इतलें डिस्कस केलें रिजनल प्लॅन टू ODP अजूनय ते रिफ्लेक्ट जायना. ताणें म्हणलें विजन, तो विजन तातूंत भितर येना. गोंय भरकटत चल्लां. गोंय एका अशें कड्याच्या टोकार येवन पडलां तें आतां कोसळपाचें हांव. मांडवी.
म्हाका दिसता की वो जो लँड यूज जो सामको एक सिरियस इशू हा. सद्या लँड ग्रॅब चालू हा. कझिनो पयसो इतलो येयला की दे ऑल्सो बायंग लँड. आतां गोंय वयता. दिल्लीचे म्हणजे भायले लोक येवन लँड घेता. ते वद्दे गोंय गेले. आनी मेन थ्रेट कितें आसा की जो लँड यूज आहा तो चेंज जाता. की आतां आमचे हिल्स आहा ते प्रोटेक्ट करपाक जाय. द इको सेन्सिटीव झोन्स हॅव टू बी प्रोटेक्टेड. आमचे जे खसान लँड्स आसा मागीर जे कितें मँग्रोव्स आसा हे प्रोटेक्ट करपाक जाय. कित्याक तेका एक सायंटिफीक रिजन आसा. आनी हें प्रोटेक्ट करप सामकें इम्पॉर्टंट. नाजाल्यार आमी मरतलीं सगळीं. सो आमी मरतलीं.
आमी मांडवीन
बुडटलीं.
समुद्रान बुडपाचें कारण क्लायमेट चेंज, सी लेवल रायज ही पणजे सिटी खातली, गोंय खातलें आनी आमचें भवितव्य
आमी फक्त पॉलिटिक्स करतले.
म्हाका दिसता ऑस्कर बाब इतल्याचेर हांव सोंपयतां. काय तुका एक स्टेटमेंट करपाक जाय लास्ट?
म्हाका फक्त एक परत हांव फक्त पॉलिटिकल स्टेटमेंटूच करतलो. हांव फक्त पॉलिटिकल स्टेटमेंट करता. ही सगळीं 16B 32 हे म्हाका पळोवंक ना. कित्याक हें गोंय कशें विकपाचें आनी गोंय कशें सांबाळपाचें फक्त हो प्रश्न हो दुयेंस हें सोल्युशन ताजें पॉलिटिक्स. सो म्हाज्या प्रमाणे आय हेट टू से दीस बट इन 2027 वी आर हॅविंग एन इलेक्शन म्हणून मातसो बोवाळ आतां चळवळ चालू जाल्या न्ही. ती उमेद कशी सुरू जाल्या. कितेंय म्हण तूं आज समज कोण मुख्यमंत्री आसा, लेट अस से प्रमोद सावंत इज द चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ गोवा. यू हॅव गॉट फुल बॅकिंग फ्रॉम द सेंटर. Full backing from the center. Yes. The center is not going to drop this government under any circumstances. You bought, purchased, got everybody on your side. At least do one thing which is right. Pass a damn legislation which is strong, which completely protects Goa's land. In this assembly table, a damn bill over there saying that you cannot convert the eco-sensitive zones. You cannot cut hills. You cannot destroy the wet bodies. You have to protect the environment. Just make this assembly session your session, Mr. Pramod Sawant, if you have the guts as the chief minister who's got the complete backing of the center, and bring a damn bill and make it an act overnight that Goa's lands will be protected finitely, absolutely, with no ifs, buts, no detours, nothing for any TCP minister or for anybody in the future. Bring that kind, like what General Jacob brought when he was governor. Remember when we were in...
Yes.
And he absolutely froze the entire eastern belt and made that a tiger sanctuary, and he said no development in that area. So something like that. I'm not saying you stop all housing, but definitely stop this speculative buying by Delhi buyers, this damn villas, this selling Goa for a price. If you have the guts, Mr. Pramod Sawant, please bring that bill in this assembly now on the 21st, instead of giving us some small cabinet reshuffle and telling us that the biggest enemy of Goa is Govind Gowde. We don't believe that crap at all. bring a legislation which protects Goa. You've got this chance, you've got the backing of the centre, nobody is going to go against you, and the people of Goa will back you. If you have the guts, do it.
More important is implementing all the laws that are
bring
there.
The law, but first bring the goddamn law.
Laws are there. It needs implementation. That is an issue.
We don't have. Basically. We have these. That's why TCP ministers like Vijay Sardesai and Vishwajit Rane keep on running circles around the law, because that law is not strong enough. No, this is something that we've been fighting with Manohar Parrikar to bring a strong law to stop the sale of agricultural land and eco-sensitive land outright to anybody. That is the law that you must bring.
इतल्या हांव ही कार्यावळ सोपयता ताणें म्हाका बरो प्रश्न केला. दोगी जाणांनी तुमचो प्रश्न एकूच जाप आसा. ती प्रश्न तो असो, गोंयच्या विकासान गोंयचें विजन खंय आसा. हो विजन आमकां दिसती पडना. येदे व्हडले पूल, एका पुलाचेर 2 पूल, येदे व्हडले रस्ते, एलिवेटेड रस्ते, पेडणेच्यान हांगा येदे व्हडल्यो बिल्डिंगो, इतली व्हडली सरकारी इमारती, चकचकीत कार्यालयां, आनी हातून भितर गोंयचें विजन आसा. कारण भायल्यान लोक येत आसात, मोठ्या प्रमाणाचेर येतात. गोंयचें पॉप्युलेशन 17 लाख जालां. कितले लाख ताजे भायर गोंयान आयिल्ले आहात. 1 कोटी लोक दर वर्सा पर्यटक येतात. हें आमकां जाय आनी आमकां कितें जाय? म्हाका दिसता ह्या प्रश्नाची जाप रिजनल प्लॅनान आसा. सरकाराक रिजनल प्लॅन हाडचो पडटलो आनी ताणें म्हणटा तशें एक अत्यंत खर कायदो येवचो पडटलो गोंय सांबाळपाक. इतल्यान हांव ही कार्यावळ सोंपयता. ओके, अजुनूय सबिना उलयता आसात ताजे अर्थान ताजे भितरल्यान ताजी पोटतिडक तातूंत दिसता.
सेल ऑफ गोवन लँड, सेल of agricultural land and eco-sensitive land is to be banned. We don't have a law like this. This law has to come in this assembly.
Sale of Goa थांबोया. म्हाका दिसता आयच्या कार्यावळीचो मरितार्थ होच. तुम्ही दोघी जाण आयले आनी ऑस्कर तुवें कार्यावळीक एक वेगळेंच वळण दिवन एक पॉलिटिकल
माझे प्रेशर वाडना ते तूं वच आनी माझे प्रेशर चॅक कर.
हांव हे पॉलिटिकल टर्न दिलें, पूण ते पॉलिटिकल टर्न आमचें गोंय वाचोवपाक गरजेचें आहा. तुम्ही दोघी जाण आयलीं ह्या कार्यावळीक एक बरें म्हाका दिसता तुमी एक उद्देश दिलो. तुमचे दोगांचेय हांव उपकार मानता. पळयत रावात गोमंतक TV.